bring it up, Rye. This is Vibe Union Podcast. I'm with Jason.
G'day and welcome to the Vibe Union Podcast. I can be reasonable when the time seems fitting.
This is Rye.
This is Rye speaking now. You know his voice from
Hello, Rye
how
speaking.
nasally it is and how incessant it is.
And I'm Jason. I don't know. And
Are you going to do an impression of me?
No, I'm just doing nasally. And I'm Jason. Hello, everyone.
It's just us today. No guests.
The two beefy boys.
Just a solid brick wall. Sometimes there's
for
a
the
canvas.
Spotify listeners, Rye just slapped the wall.
Oh, we can get a little bit of that.
With the ASMR. How you doing?
Now imagine that's your bare buttocks. Again, just
before we get started,
little teaser for my...
you're weird.
I don't think so.
Before we get started, I want to acknowledge the custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I don't know, it's weird times right now. I think, we need to appreciate and acknowledge that, we are conducting ourselves on stolen land. Treaties have never been signed, sovereignty has never been ceded. And we're very lucky to be here in Australia, where we're not really worried about sort of, a lot of people aren't really worried about the land that they're on. But I think it's just very important to really recognise that most of us are, colonisers here, and we are visitors on this land. Those First Nations people have been here for 40,000 plus years. One of, if not the longest ongoing civilization in the world. I think it's very important to just take a second to think how lucky and privileged we are here in Australia and Victoria to be able to share our stories and to tell our truths when so many First Nations people and people throughout the world have had their voices silenced up throughout history and even up to this day. And also, I just want to acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita, which is the First Nations people of Tasmania, where I unfortunately grew up.
I've got a Tassie fact.
Yes.
I found out just the other day.
Oh, okay.
That the landmass of Tasmania is actually from the west coast of America. It was not actually attached. It became attached to Australia.
Oh, so yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It became attached to Australia just due to when it kind of collided with Australia and a land bridge was formed. And that's how...
during Pangea.
Look, I don't know it that far back.
Okay.
Well, I guess I don't know the names.
Is this a fact that you don't want any follow-up questions?
I would love zero follow-up questions.
Okay.
No, we can riff. I just don't have the answers because I read half the article and was like,
write in the comments if you know more about... Anyway. Sorry, yes, it was attached to America.
And apparently people have kind of said... Someone I was talking to was saying like, oh, that's interesting because that's why it feels like the fauna and the foliage is all very different and all feels much more closely related to America. There you go.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I've not been. I'm going to go soon. I'm going to go on the Spirit of Tasmania across the pond.
I thought you meant to America.
No. No.
I'm trying to... Fauna and because America's known for their marsupials. That's very much.
Fauna was the wrong word.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, those.
Apparently, the landscape is a bit more North American.
Okay, well,
that's what I read in an article.
Spent a little bit of time in North America, but not well, Canada, not the United States. Yeah. But
anyway, there's a little Tassie fact for you.
All right, thank you.
If you doubt me, you can Google it. It should be out there.
Just leave comments. Just write all your Tassie comments in the. Wherever you see this posted.
Hey, this is not what I was intending to talk about, and this is not like a.
Does it mean we get to go off?
This is not me casting a rod and fishing for anything. But it was my birthday. It was my birthday the other day. I've turned 30 years old, and suddenly my bones hurt. And
suddenly,
so no, it's been for a long time now. My lower back's been bad since I was 24.
Don't just go, 30 now. Oh, now I sound like a dad. So Rye Hamilton Smith.
G'day, mate.
You had
I don't actually want to hide it. I think I
No,
want.
no. Let's not hide it. What just happened?
This might be the first time I've ever edited this podcast.
Yeah, no, it was.
And by edited, I mean I'm just cutting one section.
Yeah, we went in hard. We went in strong.
I think in my new age, I'm going senile. Is what happened.
It's been 5 days, and he's like, "Fuck! Welcome to my world."
My bones hurt, and I can't remember where I am.
So you had your album launch.
Did I?
Yes. Yes, you did. Right. It was a week and a half ago.
Was it only a week and a half ago? Yeah.
23rd of
23rd
November. Liminal out on the webs of the internet.
Streaming services.
Yeah, we go.
Or Bandcamp. Buy it on Bandcamp if you like.
Or listen to it for free on Spotify.
Yeah, that's probably...
No. You get 0.00369.
Not until I get the 1,000 streams.
Okay, well then everyone go stream Liminal. And then
the way this is, again, I'm going to go into a different topic than we were intending to, but the way that Spotify
what's the point?
The way Spotify is going about trying to make a profit, because I heard today that they occasionally turn a profit per quarter. You can walk through, Paul. It's fine. It's just long rants that I have to edit. It's annoying. Apparently they only turn like a profit maybe once a quarter, but yearly they don't turn much of a profit, right?
CEO makes $1 billion or something.
CEO profit has nothing to do. CEO income doesn't have nothing to do with profits.
True. I don't know. I've seen some discourse about. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. Maybe we'll see what happens.
I think they're going for like, as a lot of tech companies do, is like it's really a long haul of like, it's so much investment. We're just like going to burn cash basically to try and become the next Apple. Anyway, but my point is that like the way they're going about trying to turn a profit is layoff of staff, and now
it's like everyone does.
The couple of bucks that we're going to give to small artists off streaming is we're not going to do that anymore.
I think that's the whole. We're going to go. I just realised that was just a bit of a capitalist thing.
Please,
it's kind of like. When you go, I don't like the closest supermarkets to me are Coles and Woolies.
Yeah.
Aldi's. I can go to anyway. There are better shops available, but it's like if you go to Woolies or something, and it's like, oh, I see that your whatever it is this amount. Do you want to round it up to $20 and give? And I'm like, just like, why can't you just give that much? Like, and it's also with and then you make the random consumer feel bad about things, and I think that's really feel with Spotify. Like, well, the more streams you get, the more money you're going to get. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, well, then you go, well, that's just the way we do it. It's up to the you're hoping and wishing and waiting that all the consumers are listening to your things, and so you kind of like, well, it's not my. You know what the model is. You just need to get more people to listen. Yeah. But then it's just like you got to. There's just the same as live gigs. It's just every musician, everyone's trying to be a musician, everyone's trying to perform, and it's just like, I think I had a point. I guess like just to be financially successful, you already have to be famous. You have to be the biggest. Yeah, it's. Well, I mean, like that's. It goes against the argument of like the free market breeds innovation, and it's like that's when Walmart rocks up to your small town in America, and then every single other store just closes down. Hit me. The rapper that's no longer alive, Blueface, whatever his name was, Juice WRLD. Blueface. Yeah, I was going to say Blueface isn't. No, Juice WRLD. Yeah. I just there's a U in there. Yeah. But he started the thing of just putting grungy. We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. My catchphrase. Every podcast. Yeah, every podcast. Anyway, it's because we don't write. No one actually bothers to produce podcasts and actually write scripts. No, that's not all podcasts. Hashtag not all podcasts. But yeah, he sort of started that whole trap, the grungy trap. Yeah. Not poorly recorded or he was the one that really got it, and then it just swept the nation. Uh-huh. And then everyone's like, well, let's make this grungy, poorly recorded music sound way better by recording it better. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of, when everyone was doing that, which is fine. Once again,
what's your point on that one?
Jesus
the
Christ,
other one I knew how to weave it in, but that one I don't fully.
Blue Juice was doing.
Isn't that what they drink in Star Wars?
Blue Juice, maybe. Yeah, there's. I don't know.
I saw a story from a rapper that we know personally saying, and like, I'm not going to name them because...
I think I know the person you're going to say.
Yeah,
or thinking of, yes.
And they're welcome to come onto the podcast and discuss this further with us, but if you know who you are. I don't know if he watches.
Right, it's calling you out, motherfucker. No.
No, well, I don't know. Because I actually half agree with them as well. But then...
I liked how you were like, we know this person. You could have said, I saw someone.
Yeah, but I want whoever's listening to have their ears pricked and go like, oh, this might be me.
Okay.
They said, they're tired of people complaining about Spotify doing this kind of stuff because Spotify has completely changed opened up the
possibility.
The possibility. So like, the fact that you and I can release music, or that anyone can literally release music, and it is on the same playing field as Taylor Swift. Like, the field is like infinite, right? It's huge.
Yeah.
But we are technically on the same playing field as Taylor Swift, right? In a sense. However, at the same time, Taylor Swift and all these other artists are obviously they have proper marketing budgets. They actually have like the entire old industry still has its fingers on the pulse and in the pies of every little thing, pulling the strings. More metaphors, please.
Fingers in pies, pulling strings.
That you're on the same
pie puppets
field or in the same ocean. I'm trying to think of one more. We're going to do rounds of 3 metaphors for every single thing that I say.
Oh, I by all means, I hope this is a metaphor-heavy podcast.
I think most of them are.
Are they? I don't know.
That's how you make a good podcast. You say something really bleeding obvious to everybody, but then you wrap it up in a nice metaphor, and everyone goes, "Oh, very, very good, very good."
I thought it would be the opposite. You just say something ambiguous, and people just latch onto it. Like, oh, that I don't know.
That's another tactic. I think
that's what what cryptos bros do.
Yeah, 100%. They say just generic motivational
just get up in the morning.
That doesn't actually mean anything.
Just get up.
Just wake up.
Go to bed early.
You would be successful if you woke up half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Do you know how many days I have in one day?
I was just thinking the same thing. That guy's coked off his fucking head.
I think that's the true success tactic. Do a lot of cocaine.
Be a dick, do cocaine, fuck people over.
Yeah, be a greedy motherfucker and on cocaine, and you'll be successful.
Sam Friedman, whatever his name is.
Freud or some shit.
Sam Friedman Freud, yeah.
Is that right?
Whatever. Friedman man. Yeah, he just got fucked over, so he just went to prison for a long time.
Yeah, because he was a fucking scammer, because he was a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, that's all I had for that.
I agree with this. I agree with the idea of just like these platforms have opened up to everybody.
Yes.
Literally everybody can just upload music and create this stuff. But at the same time, like that's not Spotify doing that. Like. That's the same for anybody. That's the same for that's the same for every company. Like that's what Apple Music is doing. That's what Bandcamp is doing. That's what SoundCloud is doing.
Tidal.
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 Like the water.
Tidal. There's Deezer. I don't know. There's other ones.
No, not making that. No, no. I stopped myself. Thank you.
Oh, it's so hard not to say it.
We're both 30-plus-year-old men now. We have to be. Mature. I think
it's more of like a sign of like of the direction that they're going in, which is not even like this is not a new thing. Like Spotify has been down that path already, as any of these streaming services, as has obviously the entire industry because it's capitalist to its core. But you're talking about art. You're talking about. I mean, this hurts every aspect of human life, in my opinion. But you're talking about art, where you have to commodify until you can finally turn a profit. And it is a wonderful, great thing that we have these platforms we can put our bullshit music on that nobody listens to, and. And I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, watching these platforms like head more in the direction of like becoming more homogenized and focusing on whatever only the biggest artists actually get to turn a profit. Until you get to be those people, you don't get to make any fucking money. It's actually I think I can't remember if I mentioned this in this section or the one that we cut. Now I'm confused. But
don't
again,
say the same thing you did in the section that we cut.
I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I said in the section we cut.
Cool, fantastic.
Again, it's actually the polar opposite of the free market idea, where
So it's worked well.
if we give everyone access to this thing and just let the market do what it wants, then everyone will get the fucking same. Then the best ideas will rise to the top. But if only Taylor Swift's getting paid compared to some poor schmuck who's made a great song, but at the same time they make no fucking money off it, then it's not the same playing field. It's not the same playing field anymore.
I think the point I was trying to make before with the supermarket analogies is kind of like with Spotify and all the other streaming services. Like, well, where else are you going to go? This is the
100%.
like. I said, well, the supermarket. You can go to other places, but if you're in certain places and the only place you can go, I'll say place one more time, and
Location,
destination, wherever. Yeah, there we go. I'm a thesaurus. But yeah, it's like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
You've got like, if you want to release music,
yeah,
you have to put it on. You have to put it somewhere.
yeah,
Or unless you go back to the 90s and just go, hey man, I've just got a mixtape.
yeah.
You're working a drive-through and you just put it in someone's Macca's drive-through. Go, here's a fire mixtape for free. Like, what else are you going to do? It's kind of this sort of like, okay, well, I'm going to put it on here, but also I know that it's not going to get. And the whole idea of art and writing and performing and putting out music is not for the monetary value, and it's for the artistic endeavours and the feeling you get from writing stuff, which is great and fine.
Yeah.
But it would be lovely to make, like, just go, okay, cool. That's I said I'm not saying I'm any kind of genius when it comes to music or anything. It's just it's just kind of that the depressing feeling sometimes. Like, well, this is what we have. Like,
I think it's all. I think like. I know that we agree with that statement that like trying to make massive fucking cash and be the biggest in the world is not the goal for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We'd be fucking idiots if we thought that we had a chance in hell.
People have called us that before.
We don't. What, the biggest in the world?
The fucking idiots.
Oh, fucking idiots. Thanks, Mum.
Your mum would never say that.
I think my mum's called me a fucking idiot before.
Oh, actually, no, I can see that. I met her the other day.
Yeah, if I'm like drunk off my ass or something like that and puking in a car, she's like, you fucking idiot. And mad respect to that woman, you know?
Mad respect. Mad respect.
Shout out to mums.
Don't. Do we need to do another edit now?
We need to do another edit.
Yes.
Oh no, where was that? What was we talking about before mums? I always get distracted.
right. Always gets distracted by mums. We were. Oh God.
What were we just saying?
No, we can't have dead air. So we can't.
Is that another edit?
No, it's not another edit. We have to move on. No, we've already done one edit.
We're not here for making a bunch of fucking cash and what have you, right?
Yes.
But I see a lot of the same kind of the people who look to those kind of goals, who are talking about like, oh, I want to, one day I might blow up. That's my goal. I want to be the biggest artist on the planet, right? And it's the kind of people just like, again, it's the kind of people who's like, wake up really fucking early in the morning and get 3 days out of your one day, and then you grind, and you might be successful. So they are setting up that goal of like, even if they say, no, man, I just do it for the music, but that language is so foundational to how so many people talk now, is that it's interwoven into every little thing. Even if you just say like, no, I'm just about the music, it's still in there in the language that is used, just as we promote our music about, and there's grind and hustle culture, and just like I'm gonna get really big one day, I'm gonna get really, really famous and really, really rich. And then so when they dismiss those things about the tactics of Spotify, and Spotify is just a symptom of a deeper issue, being just late-stage capitalism, then you're ignoring the fact that like your chances are so unbelievably slim. Yeah. Which I guess some people would say like, yeah, that's life. Life's unfair. What the fuck are you gonna do? It's like, yeah, but why would you then tell everyone? constantly to strive for these basically unachievable goals, while then at the same time saying, but life's not fair. It's just like, okay, so actually, what am I supposed to do?
Just it is a weird juxtaposition between the two mindsets in the same person. It's like, oh well, it's not meant to be.
Yeah,
it's not, and then it's just like, oh, but
what if your goal is to open up in North America? You want to open up a small grocery chain.
Yeah.
In a bunch of towns that have Walmart, and say, oh, hey, look, you just need to prove that you are the better idea, and the free market is going to successfully build you up.
That doesn't fucking work.
Obviously, there is next to no chance unless you go and burn down the Walmarts.
Yeah, because
which I fully support.
Going back to people like, oh, don't shop here and there. Go to go to markets and stuff for your fruit and veg. I'm like, whatever. What average person has it? I mean, there are around, but what average person has a fucking fruit monger? I don't know.
Fruit monger, yeah.
Fruit monger, a slinger of fruit and veg around the corner.
I've once thought to mung fruit. I thought that'd be a fine job.
You once thought to mung fruit.
I just wanted to say mung fruit. Is that?
There's mung beans. That's a veg. That's a thing.
I saw an article recently
about.
I read a headline of an article recently, saying it was something ridiculous of like 45% of interviewed school children in the UK, when asked like, what do you want to be? Usually the old answers. These are young kids. These are like 9 to 14-year-olds.
YouTuber?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The old answers would be, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a tank driver and a war criminal. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else.
Christ. I want to be a war criminal.
I want to be a soccer star. I want to be a what have you, which is also like, sort of a difficult dream to achieve in a sense, but the fact that everyone says, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be an influencer, and there are chances to do so. You can. I mean, in a sense, the entertainment industry and the way we consume media has been completely decentralized in many, many ways. The fact that random people on TikToks and YouTubes and what have you can just like suddenly blow up sort of for no reason because an algorithm just goes, yeah, sweet.
Well,
this is great.
I think that's but that's through like following trends a lot as well. People blowing up. I think that's with the whole going back to like rap now is the most popular genre of music in the world.
Yep.
But lyrical rap is like lyricism is appreciated the least it's ever been.
Sure.
Everyone just wants to vibe out.
I want to see the stats on that statement.
I can't. These people were professional. They were on the internet.
On the internet.
I can't remember
Not
what it was.
just anyone can get on the internet.
No, they can't. Point being is that So it just sort of it takes. I don't know. I just feel for some reason I just want to blame nepotism for everything now, but I know that's not.
Well, everyone's just born into it.
Yeah, I don't know, which is not true. But then I
do think there is more chance now. So this is
so someone who knows someone that can get you in, like, blah, blah, I don't know.
Hugely helpful. We've talked about before, like the idea that I already had an upper hand when I first started trying to be a musician when I was 12 years old because I grew up in a household with musicians. I had parents that had keyboards and guitars and recording equipment and stuff like that. So I already had a leg up. And then, therefore, I gravitated more and knew what to do when I went into the music rooms at school. And then my mum had a music shop with a studio at the back. Like, I was set the fuck up.
I didn't even know that.
If you were... when you're trying to be a musician now, like you've got me. I'm your leg up.
Oh, you're talking me exactly. Like
yeah, you in particular. Your leg
exactly.
up
not the crowd.
Yeah, but you've not had access to all those things for your entire life.
Nope.
And so that shows in like the skill sets that you have acquired. Obviously, don't then lean into. Also, because it wasn't your focus, you've done other things, right?
No, yeah.
But. And these things by chance obviously make a huge fucking difference to the possibility of creating. But again, I have counters to all these because I do I strongly believe in the DIY attitude, especially in this day and age, because you can learn any skill set off of YouTube. But I think it's really good to encourage each individual to do those things and to try and blow up, quote unquote, or do whatever they want, right? but at the same time, I really hate the. It's essentially pull yourself up by your bootstraps attitude of like you can do anything.
I did it. Why can't you? Kind of thing. Like, well, there's a lot of elements.
There's still a chance. There's still a chance is a huge part of it.
I mean, if you look at if you just look at Vibe Union as a whole, I mean, I guess I wouldn't call us blowing up, but we have fingers in a few strings in pies and stuff, finger strings in pies.
We have a few ventriloquist dummies in some pies.
In pies, yeah. And I mean, I'm not.
Come on down to Rise Wooden Pies.
Rise Wooden Pies.
I want the pastry to be real, but inside is wooden filling.
It's just a picture of you at the bottom. Just.
You got to eat it to get the picture of me. All my OnlyFans content is hidden behind hard wooden pies.
How can we always revert to OnlyFans? Oh, it is funny.
Because it's bottom of the barrel humor.
Yeah, true. OnlyFans is a good way to make money. So anyway, I was looking for Vibe. Obviously, we're not blowing up.
No.
But we have steady what's the word?
Growth.
Flow of people. Growth, yeah. Like and that kind of thing. But it's sort of you're always thinking how much can we do and what can we do in that capacity of trying to get to the next level kind of thing. It's like we could burn ourselves out, do 4 gigs, 5 gigs a week of whatever.
Yeah.
And then go, okay, well we could put 3 rap nights on a week in poetry and then put in this and that and do all that. We could if we really want to, but then it's like, okay, we got a 3rd rap night for the week. We got 16 people there.
I mean,
and then it's like, oh, this is presented by Vibe Union, and you just like, is it worthwhile having heartless, soulless events just for the sake of it, or putting everything into something and going, yeah.
Well, it's also like because. Again, I don't want to, because I think there's an argument that a lot of people make when these kind of discussions come up of like, you're just giving people excuses for their laziness.
Okay.
Which, for 2 people who I think work pretty fucking hard at something that gives us no cash, there's
very little.
It's rewarding which again, like, well, that's not what we're in it for, but like. It feels good when we're paid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of that.
It's very validating.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, validating. It's, and also the money side of it is. Oh, excuse me. We've always talked about is not to go. Oh, we can buy a ton of shit for ourselves. It's to be like, we can put more time and effort into making things better, which is. Subscribe to our Patreon on our website.
Please do. Or my OnlyFans.
But that's kind of, I think we have a bit of a different mentality when it comes, as a Vibe Union or collective, as you and I, is we have a bit of a different idea of thing. Yes.
So this is going to be my point. Is that like so I don't want to discourage people to not work really really hard and to make excuses for laziness, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But there's factors of that. That's another factor in itself. Is how do our brains work? And my brains don't function in sometimes at all, let alone in a way let alone in a way that allows us to be. We struggle to talk in the way that I think would give us more success. You know what I mean? Like going to a gig and being social butterflies that can just like move about and like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, yeah, we should network. We should be a part of a community. Like, we've built a community, but I don't think it's because we're going up to every single person.
No, it's
like,
just we create the overall atmosphere, not where. I mean, at poetry, I try my best to remember everyone's name if they keep coming back. Over time, obviously, I will remember your name. Yeah, but I try to do all that kind of stuff. But
we're not the schmoozers.
No, not at all. And I think that goes back to some people just saying, "Oh, just get there and do it." And I'm like, well, some people are introverted. Some people have all these other brain things going on. You know, just and that kind of thing. It's like, okay, just go out there. You know, just go out and do stuff. Like, well, I don't. Okay, I'll go to an open mic on a Tuesday. Tuesday, 4:00 hits. You're like, I don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's like, oh, you just go out and do it. You're like, no, not going to do it. And there's some people, I mean, I may have a conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago and they were like, oh, I just realised that anxiety is not really a thing. Like you just, it's like, oh, you know, I felt this anxiety and then I just realised it's just a state of mind. I'm like, yes, and then it's like,
that's reality. That's how life
and then I'm like,
works.
I just pushed through it. And then once I got over there, I'm like, no, you're anxious about one certain situation, like that kind of thing.
Imagine, okay, this is a stupid analogy, but imagine you've gone running and you've
fallen into a pie.
You fall into a wooden pie. You get scratched by a gate, right, that you're running past, or a fence or something like that, and you're bleeding, and you're like, oh Jesus, that's a bit bad. All right, well, but I'm not too bad. I'm gonna walk home. And then someone is running and they get run over by a train and their legs lobbed off. And they're like, hey, this person's bleeding just like you're bleeding. Why can't you make the distance to get home? Well, this person managed to get home with that injury. It's like, there's different levels. Does that analogy make sense?
Yes.
Is it stupid as fuck?
No. I write down in the comments if the analogy makes sense. No, I get what you say. But yes, it's different levels of stuff. Yeah. And it's just like, I'll just... I know a lot of people do music and stuff to get out of their awkwardness and the introverted,
which is done for me.
Which is I do it. You're a lot different at your album launch a week and a half ago. Liminal, it's out on streaming platforms, and remember you were a lot different. Your persona is a lot different on stage than you are in person.
Absolutely.
And I think mine is too, because I still move around a lot. That's a given. I need way more space than
good to do that on stage. I hate people who
need to open my eyes more, but
yeah, me too. All the photos from the gig is
that's why I usually wear sunglasses, but I didn't this time.
True. You should get those fake eye glasses.
No, just get googly eyes and put over my.
That's equally terrifying. Rather than closing your eyes all the time,
I want to kind of terrify people.
Having your eyes open without blinking the entire performance.
Hello, but yeah, I think there's a lot of barriers to. Even going to nights which is filled with a bunch of individuals that you're not comfortable being around.
Yeah.
Whatever that night or situation is to that individual person.
Yeah.
That doesn't want to be there, you know. And they go, well, that's just what you have to deal with or go through to get through to whatever creative endeavor that you want.
If you really want it.
We can even go through poetry. I've had chats with people and I went to this night, that night. And it just felt a bit off, you know, just a bit blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And they talk about our night, you know, a bit of humble brag, like, oh, it just feels really nice and comfortable and it's a lovely safe space and all this stuff. And, you know, you go to other nights, you're like, it's not, it's kind of just seems, it's built for people already established. There's no way to get in, you know, if you're starting out, there's no really way to get in and people going, oh, you know, that's really, really good. I don't know.
So you should just push yourself through that.
Yeah, you just
but that's only assuming if your goal is to. There's just this. I don't know, because I want to be bigger. I want to be
well, the whole
more
idea is,
known and have a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But there's certain tactics and
see tactics. Yeah. I mean, we've seen tactics like try to get your stuff on through stories on Instagram. It's like do this, do that, post every day, post 4 stories, 5 stories a day.
Yeah,
and it's like that's fine, but you have people work full time or whatever. You know, no one has. Okay, I'm at work now. I'm doing this. It's like okay, cool. I'm at work, but I'm thinking about music. Okay, cool. Like so is everyone. I don't know. It's these. A lot of barriers. I think that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of barriers.
There's a lot of things out of your control. And I think, again, because, the reason that I think we can continue to do what we've been doing, and specifically speaking for myself, that I've been doing this for about fucking 14 years now, 15 years now of something. I've been playing in bands, playing by myself, playing with myself, running events.
You're 30 years old now.
I don't think anything's going to change.
Oh, I'm going to clip that.
You know, and try and build these like communities and stuff like that. And in all respects, I have very minimal success financially and in terms of just the numbers on the page. But the fact that we're still doing these things at all is already a success, because like that means that we've managed to get our heads at least into the right space that goes like, well, like that sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Like the fact that we're doing it is already a success.
We had we've had some I wouldn't say horrible nights, but some disheartening nights.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're just like, I've always gone home like, why the fuck are we doing? I'm like, what?
I had one recently, and this will be a little segue into maybe another section.
Another section? You sure?
What are we doing? It's 6:10. It's 6:10. We can go until a little while. How long we got? 41 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna cut out a little. I had
that's right, yeah. Anyway, so yes.
One of the shittier gigs I've had in a little while of playing at a venue on a Sunday evening.
10:30.
10:30 it started, and the deal sucked.
You were on at 10:30.
I played at 10:30. There was two other acts, but I played at 10:30, and the deal was that you need to make $200 on the door to pay the sound person, plus there's $30 an hour to pay the person. Sorry, $200 to pay the sound person, $20 or $30 an hour to pay the door person. Yeah. And then another $2 off the top of every ticket goes to the venue. Yeah. And then you get laughably
once all that's done,
laughably in the fucking like the worksheet, it said you get 100% of ticket sales after these things.
Oh,
that's not how percentage works. That's
no
bullshit.
That's the thing. That's why if you get like why the fuck would artists want to do shit if that's all you're coming up against? You know.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I just give up. Which sometimes fair enough.
And it was, it's a hard one where like hospitality is also a shit business to be in as well.
I mean, not that I've done it, but not much.
Punishing small artists like that felt
that's the thing.
Demoralizing.
And that's great. Basically, the same as a metaphor, basically for Spotify, but in the real life version, it's sort of like, well, obviously you don't have to pay. Well, you pay for anyway. You put your music on for free, but it's still like, well, if you want somewhere to play, you just deal with what.
You're either not getting paid or you're paying.
And I was like, well, that should just be. It's not much. These are the guidelines. These are the conditions. If you want to do it, then do it. And then people are saying, well, you should just be if you get a spot to play, you should be happy that you're playing. But then again, I'm just like, I mean, I haven't performed basically for nearly 18 months. I'm like, I'd like to.
Yeah, it was like I read that like 1,300 venues closed down over COVID or something like that in Melbourne, which I was like, that's a shitload of fucking, that's a shitload.
But then
I think
there's still reading stories on like Melbourne musicians and stuff on Facebook, the group, and people always, it gets taken down or whatever, but then people are like, oh, I was at a venue. They don't name the venues. I think we talked about this recently too. Yeah. And you see like, oh, I'm still waiting 6 months to be paid from a venue. Yeah. Venues just really seem to have the same as streaming platforms. They have little regard for little performers, like smaller acts or lesser known individuals or performers. And it's kind of, if you have that mindset of like, let's just keep grinding through, it's great. I mean, by all means, don't let the man get you down or whatever. But sometimes it's just working through that depression, anxiety of no one coming to shows or listening to your music and stuff. It kind of is like, well, and they're like, oh, just get better. It's like,
yeah, I get I get that, like, you should push through, you should try and build, you should try and work as hard as you possibly can. But when if the systems were just kind of like, again, we said at the start, might be a nice little wrap up. When the system at the start feels like an even playing field, and then you see the giants that you're trying to aim for, be it the Taylor Swifts or the Drakes or fucking what have you. You see the giants on the same playing field. That's kind of really exciting. They're like, holy shit, we're on the same fucking playing field. But then when you look at your end of the playing field and there is traps everywhere and there is like paywalls to get to the rest of the field, you're like, why the fuck would I play this game when they actually get the leg up? And I get like they're making cash. They are making cash not just for themselves, but they are making money for the industry. While we are not.
That's my other, maybe to wrap my last little thing, complaining, is that, if I didn't know you, there was no way I would have known how to or could afford to release an EP.
Yep.
You know, like people want to do stuff, but it's like, okay, they go say, oh, it's $250 an hour to a random producer or something. You're like, well, I want 2 to 3 hours and I want more than one session. Where do I get? And they're like, well, where do I get the money from? And they're working a lot, you know, and some people, so work, that kind of the balance in work, creative life is sort of, where do you go from there?
Even as again, I say, like, I want to inspire and encourage the DIY nature as much as I possibly can. And I am someone who loves to learn everything I know off YouTube tutorials, but especially something like music, like I am as good as I am at, I am as good as I am at mixing because I've spent the last 12 years doing it.
But then also, like I said, you've got all the, like even I now, like I don't have the room to, even if I had the money for the equipment, I've got really no room to put anywhere. Like I've got a desk, but I've got stuff like, you know, I've got to use it for other things. And I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean,
I guess if I was to wrap this up, in some sort of bow. I really like the just get out there and do it attitude and the nature of all of that. But I hate it when it ignores systematic issues,
the hurdles,
and the actual probability of success.
Actually, that's the
probability of capitalist financial success. Because I think that
just do it, but also
it ends up being demoralizing when you realize it. You feel like a failure when you didn't when the odds are stacked against you from day one.
And then when you didn't even know the odds, and you go into it, you're like, well, okay, well.
If the goal is just to do a thing, if the goal is just to put out an EP, kind of regardless of like the quality or whatever, it's like, I just want to put a thing out. You can absolutely do it. You can put your phone on the table and hit record and play an acoustic guitar and sing some songs, and you would have a thing. You could upload it to SoundCloud from your phone, and you could technically do it. And if that was your goal, you're like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to send it to my friends. Then you have succeeded. But if that essentially is a very libertarian approach of just like you need to work. You were the only thing that's standing between you and success. You are setting yourself up for depression and a sense of failure that I think is unwarranted and unnecessary.
Well said, right.
Join a union and look up your local communist groups.
Rye's opinions do not represent the entire Vibe Union.
Bitch, I am Vibe Union. I think they.
All right.
I think we're in agreement.
I'm a neo-capitalist. And
oh yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
That's not shone through.
I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, so I have 2 days in one day. On that note, music by Sixpence.
On that note, give us money.
give us money so we can be more capitalist. Once we get enough, we're going to fuck all this off and go to Barbados.
Yeah, Barbados.
But that's where Sam Sigmund Freud went. Sigmund Freud, yeah.
Sigmund Freud.
Anyway,
Sigmund Freud. Subscribe to our Patreon.
Vibe.union on Instagram. Ryan will put links everywhere.
I probably won't. No, the links are definitely below us.
I am very loud on that, aren't I?
Yeah, you peak. You're a spicy boy.
Spice.
Fucking.
Don't do that ever again.
Mate, every fucking time. Yeah, you know my catchphrase. Fucking catch you on the flip side as we hang 10 over the neoliberals.
I hate Rye. Goodbye, everyone.